All right, good evening and welcome to Sports Bible, the Draft Storm. We are here on a Wednesday night. We got a special episode tonight because college football starts this weekend, everybody. Um, and before we start, I want to also let you know that we have a special guest coming on later on tonight. Not that Schneider's not a special guest because he's my co-host during this, but we do have Clark Travel. Philip Clark will be coming on around the 7:15 mark to talk about uh, Clark Travel and also about the Pittsburgh Steelers and what he has seen so far during exhibition season. But let's get into the show. Here's my special co-host. There's Schneider. Schneider, how you doing on this hump day?
Another wonderful day.
It is. These days just mesh together. I think once you hit like 30 years old, man, these days, you can't tell a day before. I can't tell you Monday from Tuesday anymore, man. Um,
I can't know how many shirts I got left for the week.
that's about right. We got. It's hard to believe this, man. Like I actually forgot about this last weekend until somebody told me, "Hey, man, football college last weekend was the last college. Last weekend was the last Saturday until February with no college football." And I was like, "Really?" And I thought about it. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, this is correct because we got week 0 coming up this week." Um, and not the greatest of games by far. I mean, week 1 has we've already talked about this going forward, and we'll be doing a lot of week 1 stuff next week's show because of the games involved there. But there it is right down there. K State number 18. This is Sports Bibles top 25. Number 18 K State versus number 25 Iowa State. It's the best game of the weekend. They're in Dublin, Ireland. They play at noon on Saturday. Um, it's a perfect time to grab a 6-pack of beer, watch some football. Couple draft prospects involved in that game. And Schneider, we've talked about this with our Big 12 preview show. This is a big matchup early in the year.
A 6-pack of beer?
Okay,
What are you going to do the
12.
rest of the game?
All right, 12 pack. 12 pack. That's true. That's a quarter for you. But
But no, it's a big game. I mean, these are two of the teams that, if you believe the write-ups and everything else, are going to be in contention for the Big 12. And whichever loses this game is going to be at a disadvantage
yes,
going into more conference play.
it's very weird to see a conference game overseas like this early in week 0 especially. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
you're putting a lot on the line. I mean, you're putting an 0-1 start in your conference record right off the bat, and um, we've already talked about how many good Big 12 teams are this year. They're going to be that lot loss is going to take a while for them to make it back up. I mean, it's just the way that that conference is right now. Um, Iowa State has a couple players that I want to really watch at. So does K State has one too. But Iowa State's quarterback Rocco Beck, that's a guy that if you see a lot of the experts and what we even think here at Sports Bible, he's like a dual threat kind of quarterback that's sort of a fringe type quarterback. You don't know if he's going to get drafted next year. He could be one of them 6th or 7th round picks. I mean, if he goes off and has one of those spectacular seasons, but this is a big game for him early in the year. The guy from K State that I really like, and Austin Romaine, a linebacker, aggressive style linebacker, good tackling techniques. The guys, it seems like he's one of them guys that I've been hearing about for a couple seasons at K State. So it's gonna be worth watching. And that's a little segue to we have the college notebook is coming out. So buy your college notebook if you want to be a part of the 2026 NFL draft. It's so hard to say 2026 already, but that's the next draft, and it's here in Pittsburgh. If you want to be part of the 2026 NFL draft and want to write some things down for some guys and send them to me, I'll put you in the book, get you published. But what else do we have to look forward to in week 0, Sean? Not much, right? Idaho State at UNLV. Basically, this is to get our eyes focused on watching football again the rest of the weekend, huh? I mean, this game here
This
has a
is
little bit of
this
meaning.
is the only game that matters. It should be a good game. I mean, you
I,
got
I agree.
two programs who they both have quarterbacks who could make some noise this year. Very similar stats last year. They were both sub 60% passers, but
Yeah,
not by much.
Avery Johnson is another. I'm gonna say an elite college quarterback, but he's in that top 20, 25 range of quarterbacks. He's gonna And you're right. I mean, this game could be an exciting. It's could be a 41-38 game for all we know. I mean, it could be one of them
Well, it could.
great
I
games.
mean, I think last year they said it was what 27-21 or something like that. It was a fairly close game last year when they
And
played.
I believe this is one of the I believe this is one of the teams that we had TJ Chapman on last week. I think he wasn't his. I think his surprise team was. I think both of your guys' surprise team, or the team to look out for in this conference was Iowa State. Was it not? Pretty
No,
sure it
mine was
was.
Baylor.
Okay,
I
that's
was
right,
Baylor.
Baylor. I think his was Iowa State though. So I know
Yeah, it was.
somebody had Iowa State, but
Yeah, he did.
Andrew Anderson, how you doing, brother? Andrew Anderson, of course, is part of the Villains Network. That this is part of. So Andrew, thank you for the invite to the Villains Network. Snyder, there's one other game that sort of intrigues me, and I know you're gonna be like, "Oh, it's game nothing." But Fresno State and Kansas ain't horrible. It ain't a horrible game. It ain't like Sam Houston, Western Kentucky. It's at least there's something there, man. Kansas got a really good interior lineman named Bryce Foster. That's a guy that I have in my book, a guy that you should pay attention to. Um, I know. I know this is the first week, so we're gonna watch this game, the first game we talked about, and be in tune. This is a good game. This is a game that can mean something at the end of the year. But then the rest of the year, the rest of the weekend, though, we're gonna be able to sit down, get our eyes focused on football again, and football that matters. I mean, NFL exhibition games, it's hard to really get focused. I mean, these are games that count. I know they're not the greatest games, but they're games that count. So it's gonna be interesting. I mean, I know it ain't gonna be like week one. I mean, week one we already talked about 5 or 6 games that they're gonna blow our socks off. I mean,
Yes, the games count for the teams playing them, but then other than this first game for the national standings, they really don't.
I agree with that. I agree with that 100%. I mean, this Kansas State Iowa State game could go down in Dublin, Ireland. It's gonna be a unique atmosphere. It's gonna be a fun game to watch. I mean, I'm looking forward to watching this
Should
game.
be. Should be a
Yeah,
good game.
it should be a very good game. Like we talked about, this could be the game at the end of the year. They're talking about that. This made the difference in one of these two teams, maybe winning the conference, the outright conference title, and the final thing. We talked about week one. We're gonna be talking about week one next week. In that, the other big news that I want to talk to you about, Schneider, and it's what the Big Ten came out with this week. The
Yeah.
the potential. It's the potential for 24 teams, maybe even 28 team playoff. What do you think of that? What do you think of the potential of having that many teams and then that many teams that are guaranteed from each conference, which is it's sort of crazy. They want to have automatic bids for the Power Four conferences: Big Ten, SEC, ACC, and Big 12. And then maybe a couple at-large bids that get you can get to the 28 teams. Do you like it or you don't like it?
Put it this way: how would you feel the first round of the playoffs watching Rutgers play Alabama?
Uh, I get it. It's
No one
almost making
cares.
it's almost making it like an NCAA basketball tournament. But the difference
Yeah,
between
that's way too much. And
basketball and football,
the automatic bids need to go bye bye.
and the
I
difference
mean, the
between
Big Ten and SEC both won 7. That's ridiculous.
I agree with that. And the best thing about the worst thing about that is if you're making like a basketball tournament, but 28 teams, 24 teams, basketball is different than football. A basketball team can come out, get hot, and steal a game. Football, like you said, Rutgers versus Alabama could just be downright ridiculous, or a
Well, and
matchup
there'll be
like that.
plenty other games going on like that too. If you play that with that many games, it's too many, way too many.
What would you like to see it at? Where it's at now, or would you like to see maybe a couple more?
I'd like to see
Maybe
8. I want
You
to go
just wanna
back to
see
8. I
you
think
want to go
12's too many with no automatic bids, no automatics, not whatsoever.
You just want the
You
guys
don't
that
get.
you just want the votes to count, or the winners of the
Yep.
conferences to count.
Yes, that's it.
You don't want to give automatics for the winners of the conferences.
Nope. No conference title games. If they win their conference, that's fine, but no conference title game automatics.
So if a Penn State wins during the season but loses to Ohio State, like in the playoffs, just say, or whoever they play in the playoffs and lose, you still think Penn State should get the automatic, or
Yes,
whoever wins it.
they win the regular season. title, then that's the team that should go. Just putting them into the conference title game, I disagree with 100%. Too many weird things can happen in a title game, especially for the teams that already know already. Say you're Penn State and you win the Big Ten, you're the number 1 seed in the conference championship game, and you're going up against whoever it may be, Michigan, maybe Michigan. Well, if Penn State, the game doesn't mean anything to them. So what are they going to do? Are they going to play hard? Are they going to play to win it? Or are they just going to rest some people for the playoffs and let Michigan sneak in? I don't like it.
Well, that's the other thing with these 2014 playoffs. If you're a player from a team that's maybe 18th ranked in this 2014 playoff, and you know you're a first round pick in the NFL draft, do you play in these playoffs?
Oh yeah, they'll play it. Now that these kids are making money, they're going to play.
They're making money though. They already made their money.
While they're making money, they're going to play. If they're making money in college ball, they're going to finish the season out and try to win the national championship.
Even if you're like a team like you talked about, like a team that has no chance to beat in Alabama, you're going to go in and take a risk.
Yes, we're going to play it. If they don't, they'll be kicked in the butt.
I agree with that. I mean, as a father, I want my kid to play. But then again, if my kid was going to be guaranteed to be a top 10 pick in the NFL draft, I don't know if I want my kid playing any extra college football games than he has to. Taking a risk. Just my opinion. But Schneider, we're going to go to commercial here, and then we are going to bring on our special guest right after this commercial break. We have Philip Clark on from Clark Travel. We will be talking Pittsburgh Steelers. I'll be watching them Steeler exhibition games. They're 1-1 right now. We'll get into that. So, Schneider, hang tight, drink your beer, and we'll be right back right after this. All right, we are back. That was the Villains Network, part of the network's the Villains Network Media, which I'm a part of here at DraftStorm. Schneider, we're about to bring in one of my newer sponsors. Got to meet Philip online. He's a great guy. Loves sports. Let's bring him on. Philip, how you doing, man?
Doing great. How are you?
Good, man. This is Schneider. Schneider's is Philip.
Nice to meet you. Yes.
So, Philip, before we get into the Steelers, and we just talked about a game. It was sort of a great segue. We just talked about a game in Dublin, Ireland. Talk about what you're going to be doing for like Steeler fans this year, through the travel agency, through Clark Travel.
Yes, I already have quite a few clients of mine who are also good friends that I'm sending over to Dublin, and most of them actually have tickets for the game. Some don't have tickets, but that's okay. They want to experience the entire vibe of being in Dublin, watching the Steelers play at Croke Park. And it's going to be a very exciting weekend. It's going to be an exciting game. You know, Croke Park seats about 82,500 fans, okay? It's also the home for the Gaelic Football Association, Athletic Association. Gaelic football is huge there. Hurling's huge there. So they hold a lot of those games at Croke Park. And it's just going to be an electric environment, you know. And the country of Ireland, as well as the UK, has really embraced the NFL. And as you know, the Steelers are partnered with Ireland. The NFL created this partnership with teams in certain cities in Europe. And it's a natural match because Dan Rooney, he's the only U.S. ambassador who's visited all 32 counties in Ireland, and that includes Northern Ireland as well. And so the people of Ireland really, really love the people from Pittsburgh. So it's going to be a true home game, just in another country. And it's just going to be an unreal environment for everybody.
And talk about other things that you do. And by the way, you're getting some shout outs from people out there. Roman Time.
Oh, jeez.
How you say that? Is that how you say that? Roman Time Dante? Roman
Dante, yes.
I like it. That's a good name. Talk about some of the other things you can do, and talk about there's another Pittsburgh team that's traveling, but this fall as well, right?
Yes, in November, the middle of November, I think the dates are the 14th and 16th. The Pittsburgh Penguins will be playing in Stockholm at the famous Globe Arena against the Nashville Predators. And, the Globe Theater, I think, seats, I'm only guessing this, it's not as big as PPG Paints Arena, but it seats a good 13,000. And the Swedish Hockey League is huge over there, obviously. We have quite a few players from Sweden that are playing in the NHL. And the Penguins, of course, have Raquel Carlson on the team that are from Sweden. So it's a mix of, the Penguins having home ice advantage and the Predators having home ice advantage, uniforms and last shift changes, those types of things. Mm-hmm. But again, I'm sure that game's going to be sold out if it's not yet, and they love their hockey in Sweden.
Oh, big time. I mean, any of these countries, Canada, Sweden, I mean, these guys, they grow up with skates on their feet. What's the best way, Philip, if somebody wanted to get a hold of you about a cruise, travel plans? I know my wife is listening to this right now because my daughter moved to England, so
right.
we're gonna be looking to go to England here. I've never been to England. My wife been there once, so
it's a great country.
So I want to get there eventually, one time. But how was the best way to reach out and get a hold of you to figure stuff out?
Come to my Facebook account. My Facebook page is Clark Travel. And you can find my contact information. You can email me. You can give me a call. My email address is Philip, that's one L in Philip, at clarktravel.org. And I have an E at the end of my last name, of course. And then I'm more than happy to begin dialogue with anybody who wants to travel anywhere. The company that I'm actually under is called Yeti Travel Company. They're based in St. George, Utah, which is actually near Zion National Park. And I did all my training through them. So I'm a qualified travel agent, and I do most of my bookings through Expedia, but we have our own version, Expedia Tap. And they provide discounts for us to book our trips, with our clients. And that's where I find hotels. That's where I find resorts. Cruises, different story, I'm qualified to sell through Royal Caribbean, Norwegian, Viking, Virgin Voyages, and a few others. So again, I'm more than happy to find good rates for clients who want to go to the Caribbean, to go to the Mediterranean. A good friend of mine actually just came back last month from an Eastern Mediterranean cruise that left from Greece, Athens, Greece, went to Istanbul, Turkey, went to a couple of the Greek islands. They enjoyed their trip very, very much. I have other clients who are booked in the future on Virgin Voyages and also Viking. Alaskan cruise to Viking, actually, which looks phenomenal. One of my brothers just came back from a Norwegian cruise with his family, and they went inside the Inside Passage. They left from, I think, Seattle and went all the way up to Seward, which is not too far away from Anchorage. And their stops were just, looked unbelievable.
Philip, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to use you to travel, but I don't know about a cruise, because I think that's the one way my wife could get rid of me without anybody finding out. I always fear my wife and me on a cruise together. My wife gets mad at me. I might be in the middle of the Atlantic or the Pacific River.
I'll make sure I don't have a balcony for your room, okay?
Oh, that'd be perfect.
Keep you in the inside of the ship.
That'd be perfect, because I don't know if she's been setting me up for this. She's always asking about cruises. So let's
Right.
so everybody that's out there that's on that has been following DraftStorm for the last about 7-8 weeks we've been doing this. Um, Please follow Philip on Facebook. You're getting stuff from everywhere. John Anzenberger says hello from New York.
My cousin, yes.
And you had Stephanie Orban from before saying from Florida. So you have people
Another of my cousins, yes.
all over from the United States. But please follow Clark Travel on Facebook. And also, for you new people that I'm meeting today, thank you guys for tuning in. And please follow, subscribe to the Sports Survival YouTube page and the Sports Survival page. That way, you'll see other. This is the second or third time he's been. We've talked about Clark Travel. He'll be one of our rotating sponsors, and then we do some live events. Philip will be involved too. So let's make this work, everybody. Follow him, follow me, and let's do this.
JT, remember, get them to tell them about your jersey you got.
Oh, that's right. If you sign up on YouTube, our YouTube channel, once I hit 500 subscribers, I have a Hines Ward autographed jersey from the Batman movie, Dark Knights. I'll raffle it off. So it's a nice jersey to have, man. You put it up on your window of your down in your man cave or girl cave, whatever you've got. Or with a she shed they have, right? She sheds or in a man cave, but I don't know what that means. What's that mean? Gene says, I'm trash local. I don't know what that is.
I don't know either. We'll have to look into that.
All right. So let's get into the Steelers. Let's get into the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yes.
They're 1-1. There's been some positives. Some negatives. It's hard to get really into how the starters look because the starters really haven't played. But what are some of the new guys that you're impressed with, Philip?
Oh, without question, Derek Harmon. I think he's looking great so far on the defensive line. He's got the potential to just create a lot of havoc, similar to the days of Aaron Smith, the guys that he had on the line with him. I just think that he's going to be a phenomenal football player, and depending on run or pass or whatever, he's got T.J. Watt next to him. Playing on edge. I mean, they have the potential to, have a lot more sacks this year, create, opportunities for linebackers and the defensive back to even, get some more picks, some more splash plays, fumble recoveries, you name it.
I agree. I think me and Schneider have talked about this in the past. Their defensive line is becoming very, besides of course Hayward and Watt, they're getting a little upper in age. But I mean, Watt's still the highest paid player in football now, so he can still perform. But you're starting to build that line young, man. Benton, I think Keanu Benton's got a future. You got him. You got Harmon. That line's starting to build itself up, and I think they're doing it on both sides of the ball. I think that's what Omar Khan wanted to do when he came in, and he's getting a young offensive line.
I agree.
Which that's the next question, though. Are you still up in the air? But I mean, is Broderick Jones going to be the man? I mean, do you think he's going to settle in eventually? And
well, he's going back to his natural position when he was playing college ball. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure he still has to get used to being back in that position, coming from the right to the left. But this guy can definitely have Aaron Rodgers back, and give him more time to throw. I don't know why there's a lot of fans who fear how he's going to play. I don't. I think he's going to be just fine.
Well, one thing that we talked about a lot last year, but Schneider noticed he looked like he was playing with one arm all year and playing the opposite tackle. Is that right, Schneider? You made many mentions that he was playing one arm.
He never lifted that one arm. I mean, he was playing with one arm pretty much all last season.
And I thought
that big brace he had on his elbow. Yeah.
And everything you hear of Foatanu was looking great, like coming out in the first week, and they were excited, and then he goes down. So it'll be interesting. I think we all agree that Zach Frazier is the center for the next.
Stud.
Yeah, he's the center for the next decade. We seem to find these centers. We seem to find these centers pretty nicely with Hardings, with Pouncey, with Webster. I mean, we always seem to have that center. Anybody else? Like he said, Nichols in. I mean, Nichols is getting a ton of talk right now, the running back, and I think the Steelers actually got with Lou Nichols, Trey Sermon, then you got your your main guys, Caleb Johnson, Jalen Warren, and then the kid we got from Philadelphia, which his name just slipping in my mind right now, Gainwell.
Yeah.
We have a little bit, maybe we have a little bit more depth at running back than we think here in Pittsburgh. Do you agree with that, or do you think Nichols is playing for like a practice squad somewhere?
You know, it'll be interesting to see how he plays tomorrow night. I think he's going to get quite a few touches. And tomorrow night's the true test for all the rookies, all the free agent pickups they had. And I will say I'm a little disappointed that Aaron Rodgers isn't going to get any playing time. I think he should be in there for at least, at least one series, but if it is what it is, I guess. But we're going to find out tomorrow night about these guys who are on the bubble, these guys like Nichols, who you just mentioned, who have the potential to actually be pretty good in the NFL.
And the Steelers seem to find these running backs as well, where they get it back here and there from like that. I like Sermon. Sermon played at Ohio State, played a year or two with Indianapolis. He looks like he was a short yard running back. I think that'd be a nice guy to have, like inside the 5. He seems like he's a guy that has a knack for the goal line. Both of you guys, Schneider, we'll start with you. Are you upset that Rodgers ain't at least taking a snap under center in exhibition? Or are you fine with it?
No, not. He's been around long enough. I'm not too worried about him not playing. I'm more worried about the other people playing around him, not being used to him at quarterback.
I agree with that. And what do you guys and what do you think about that, Philip? Do you think the same thing? Would you have liked to seen him get like a series, at least one series?
Just one series, and of course they've got about 10 days until the first game of the season against the Jets at New York, actually. And I keep hearing he's having a great camp. Some of the reporters are comfortable, with how he's looking. Obviously, Coach Tomlin's looking at him and thinking we've got our guy. So we don't know until the games start. That's the whole thing. And but it would be nice to see him play one series.
The guy that I'm most excited about, we probably haven't named him yet, but I'm most excited about Roman Wilson because he seemed to have done a 360 because supposedly I know he was hurt last year, but supposedly the rumor was that he was healthy enough about the mid part of the year and he didn't get a good grasp of the playbook. I don't know how true that is, but that was what was being said, and he has seemed to really have taken off here. I know it's not Rodgers throwing the ball. That's the only thing that bothers me. That's why I agree with what you guys are saying. I would like how Schneider and you both said, I'd like to see what the guys do around him. I want to see if Rodgers and him have that same, what he's putting up with Rudolph and Skylar Thompson might have found himself a third string spot somewhere. I mean, that guy's been around for a while, so he's a guy that, he's probably going to be on an NFL roster, not the Steelers, but he'll be somewhere next year or this year. What do you, real fast, this will be the last one we ask you, Philip, and I already know Schneider's take on this. Are you a Mike Tomlin guy or are you not? Because in Pittsburgh, it's almost like right wing, left wing kind of thing. Are you a guy that backs Tomlin? Do you think he's a good coach, or are you a guy that says, all right, enough's enough?
I'm going to answer it this way. Here in Pittsburgh, we are spoiled. I'm just being brutally honest here. We've had Chuck Noll, who lasted forever. We've had Bill Cowher, who lasted forever. And now we've got Coach Tomlin, who's in his 18th season. I don't know how many years he's been here, but it's coming up on 20 years for him now.
Yep.
And the players love playing for him. He's got a great reputation throughout the NFL. I enjoy his press conferences like everybody else does, but it's all based on the players he has on his team, and I do think that the team he has this year, I think, is going to be what sets his stature here as a Steelers coach down the road, in the future when we look back. If Tomlin weren't coaching the Steelers, who would come in and have them win 12 games in the first season right away? I just think that Tomlin is still good for this team. I think he's still good for, Pittsburgh as a whole. And, with Aaron Rodgers being here, we have to think about this too. The national media is going to have its microscope on the Pittsburgh Steelers, okay? And it doesn't matter what outlet you're going to be watching, which podcast you're going to be watching, everybody's going to be paying attention to the Pittsburgh Steelers this year. So that means that Coach Tomlin is going to be maybe one of the most talked about coaches this season, and how the Steelers perform, what adjustments they make, if they're losing by 3 or losing by 10 at the end of the first half, how are they going to adjust to play in the second half? And that's all on him, obviously. But, I just think he's still fine. I think he's still, a capable head coach, and he hasn't had a losing season. Let's be real about that. But again, I said earlier, we're going to find out when they start playing the games.
You're just so you know, you're closer on my end of the spectrum than Snyder's. We won't get into that, Snyder.
Sure,
but that's how it is. That's how it is in Pittsburgh, man. I mean, it's we are one thing I think we could all agree with. We are a spoiled breed here in Pittsburgh. I mean, it's hard. I mean, the only thing I always would say was the only thing I ever said that I wanted Justin Fields here this year. I did. I wanted Fields. I think Schneider wanted Fields because I wanted to give this kid a chance. And to me, the worst case scenario was, hey, we win 5 games. We finally pick in the top, 12 or 13. We have a better draft pick. And then when they went and got Rodgers, I was like, oh no, like we're gonna win 9-10 games again. I don't think we're gonna win a lot more than that. I don't. I think we're in that 9-10 win range still. And the problem with this team is I don't know if you can look on paper yet and say we could beat Buffalo, Baltimore, or Kansas City, in a playoff game, on the road. That's the part. So if you win 9 or 10, you're going to have to do that, and that's the part.
Right now, the bar is set. If you don't mind me saying here, the bar is set for the Steelers to win a playoff game. Okay, and to me, that should never be the bar. The bar should be the Super Bowl.
Oh, that's definite.
And that's what we have been used to all these years. Seeking that 7th Super Bowl win, that 7th Super Bowl ring, and you look back at the 2005 season when the Steelers were a 6th seed and weren't expected to do anything. They won 3 games on the road, all great games, all entertaining games. I think a lot of people could have benefited from having an AED machine at home, an AED machine that is,
Yeah.
when you had that fumble and it was recovered. And if it wasn't for Roethlisberger tripping that guy, that's Indianapolis's game. And of course, the missed field goal, the Steelers just rode from that. They manhandled Cincinnati. Basically, they played great up in Denver, and they were the home team in the Super Bowl that year. And they still wore their white jersey because that brought them that luck they felt. So if they can have that kind of season this year, okay, here in 2025, and that's 20 years ago now. Anything can happen, guys.
And you're not kidding about he was inches away from being our Bill Buckner, our Steve Bartman. He'd have been Jerome Bettis would have been the Bill Buckner. He'd have been a guy that people wouldn't want to see out in public. It'd have been rough for him. And Ben saved that day, man. You watch that replay. It wasn't even a tackle. It was just basically almost like a shoestring, but it was unbelievable. But Philip,
Right.
Before we go, let the fans out there know once again how to get a hold of you from Clark Travel.
Come to my Facebook page. Excuse me. Come to my Facebook page, Clark Travel. When you're on that page, you'll see a bunch of looped packages, options, vacation destinations. But my contact information is all there. And send me a message or give me a call, and I'm ready to start dialogue on where people want to go. And let me just say before I get off here, Expedia TAP is offering up to 25% discount on hotels and resorts in the United States and Canada up until next Monday, okay? And if you book that deal or those deals, you can use them up until October 31st. So there's a lot of people who love to go see the fall foliages, across the eastern part of the United States. It's off season for most beach towns. So, and in the climate here, it's still nice in September to travel and to get some beach time in. And these are great deals to be had. And I'm ready to start booking for those who are interested.
So, guys out there, once again, find Clark Travel on Facebook. Get a hold of him right now. You had some plans. You're going to make some plans, especially the football season coming up. You want to travel, follow the Steelers,
Yes.
Penguins. Want to follow the Penguins? Get your games in order now and come out. Philip, thank you so much for your time. Schneider, once again, thank you for being my my cohort. Next week we get to start talking about football games being played and talk about that crazy Week 1 schedule. So thank you everybody for listening in. And remember, if it wasn't for sports, how would we survive? It's a sports survival. Thank you, guys.
That's right.